teaching. What things did we do? What worked for us? What actions did we take? What did we put in place? Okay, what things will we do next time? Because having learned how to do it, you'll do it faster next time, and faster still the time after that. I mean, they all say, in one form or another, you've got to be motivated to want to learn. You've got to have a challenge. I mean, Piaget calls it cognitive conflict. Vygotsky calls it, solving environmental problems. I suppose Pavlov would be saying, dogs want to get fed. Skinner would say the person wants to get feedback, positive feedback. That's why people do things. And we all use existing knowledge. And when you apply this to the teaching situation, you can actually see how to unpack knowledge change so that you gradually get the knowledge being built. But what I wanted to do in our discussion this morning was to link it very closely with professional learning. Because I believe if we can't see what learning looks like, we're less likely to get there. Is that okay? If we can't see what learning, just like with literacy, if we can't see what learning looks like, we're less likely to get there. So does anyone want to disagree with aspects of the model or suggest other things I should add? Because I'll go on, Linda.
This is just in support, in support of that. What I've found is since I, at the beginning of our lesson, say to the kids, we are going to be learning about, whatever, adjectives, and, we now know what an adjective is, If you're going to perhaps do a lesson, say, on adjectives, and you tell the children that, the lesson's going to be about adjectives, you ask kids, what do you know about adjectives already? And you might put that up on the board as part of your brainstorm. And then maybe you'd go through, why do you think it would be useful to have it? And you'd put down all of their reasons. And perhaps at the end of the session, when you've, got them all using adjectives and maybe using lots of synonyms and whatever, and you get them then to say, how do you think adjectives are going to help your writing? And, you get a really different response about adjectives. So I've got a whole lot of really excited little kids about adjectives and adverbs because they can see how it enriches their writing. But I went through kind of this process without realising that this was the way I should have been doing it. But that got really motivated kids about grammar,
So the kids could really see, where to go, I'm really wanting to suggest that I think we should, I believe our approach to teaching should be based on a model of learning like this. And I think we need to do it explicitly. I just want to come back to what I think are really important distinctions to make. And one distinction is between what we know conceptually and what we do. What we do is going to be shown in the students' outcomes. What each pair of shoes does will be a response to what we do. When Connie has her students talking about the meaning-making motor, that video, when that happens, the children are able to use it and demonstrate it. They can actually do it. I might know that it's a good idea. I might have attended lectures where people have talked about these things. I might actually do some of the high reliability strategies sometimes. We know that doing them sometimes is not doing them almost as a matter of professional practice. Because if in fact I believe they're part of professional practice and I'm only doing them sometimes, am I picking when I'm being a professional? Am I deciding I'll be a professional now, but not perhaps on another occasion? If I know that something is good practice, it's something that I should be doing based on where the student's learning is, should I be doing it all of the time? Or should I be doing it only, on particular occasions? If a school is putting in place the framework that we've been saying, and if it is coming in at where the students are and is lifting their knowledge appropriately, we would expect them to be achieving at, well, at least at average benchmarks. Because, as Wayne said last time, there are schools in Northern Region that are either at or above the average, above state levels, or above, certainly above like school levels. We need to recognise that there is a distinction between what we know and what we do consistently, and I hope I've really pushed the point this morning, automatically, that we're able to do as part of our repertoire of skills. Now, I'm just saying that because I believe our goal should be to be aiming at this, because it's what we do that moves children's knowledge. And if we're not doing it consistently and regularly and systematically, and if we're not teaching the students how to carry it to any context in which they find themselves, we're less likely to get those outcomes. Now, do you want to, I'm not sure whether you want to say anything. And I wasn't wanting to pursue that in any way to get feedback. I hope I'll stand on my ideas here. I don't need any self sort of gratification, or I'm not after that at all. And I didn't see your comment actually as criticising my ideas. I was really wanting to try to put it in the context. I was wanting to say, actually, get real. If your school is really achieving these things, then you don't need to be here. Whereas if your school isn't, then we need to work out where in the scheme of things we need to modify it, or else you need to tell me what things I've left out. Because if I thought I'd left things out, I would have put them in there. So if there are additional things, anyway, that's... But I'm really wanting to push this message, and I think Lena was hinting at it, but I'll say it much more brutally. I think we need to get real about some of these things. So remember we were looking at what instructional leadership is really focusing on, and look, what I've said in your notes, the words might be slightly different, but in fact it'll be saying very much the same thing. And the focus of instructional leadership is really the means by which the pedagogic practice can be improved. And remember, pedagogic practice is what's done. Is that okay? We're really focusing on the actions teachers take. I'm just skipping through some of these. Instructional leadership, the research that has been done on it, just to give this a base for you, how the principal goes about actually putting in place instructional leadership has been shown to impact on teachers' abilities and what's done in classrooms in a range of ways. All of these things have been positively influenced by instructional leadership. The extent to which teachers, for example, foster creativity, the extent to which they monitor student learning, or if you're focusing on students learning how to work their way through problems, problem-solving strategies. And the sorts of behaviours that leaders showed that were associated with positive changes in teaching were guiding their staff to actually communicate or to frame up goals, and also the extent to which the principals themselves communicated the school goals effectively. The extent to which the principals actually evaluated the teaching that was in place.